Bonjour, bienvenue. Welcome back to Grade 7 French. This is the second of our 3 grammar and parts of speech lessons for Unité 3. This video is about les adjectifs qualificatifs, qualitative adjectives. And just a reminder that an adjective is a word that describes a person, place, or thing. And this illustration here shows you les adjectifs qualificatifs. So what I'd like you to do when I'm finished speaking is put the video on pause so that you can consider each question and each question, or sorry, each picture. Each picture provides a clue as to what each of these adjectives mean in English. So please put the video on pause now. All right, allons-y, let's proceed. In French, most adjectives are written after the subject. This is the opposite of English. We always place the adjective before the subject. For example, in English we write, "It is a beautiful day," or "This was the best project at the science fair." However, there are a few times in the French language when the adjective is written before the subject. The next slide shows 15 adjectives that have to be written before the subject. Now, in tomorrow's class, I'm going to direct you guys to take out your Unité 3 worksheets and you will see a chart which you are going to complete based on what you see on this next slide. I'll just get this out of the way. So what you're going to do at home is just take some time to study over this list, read all 15 adjectifs qualificatifs, their English translations. It might help if you take a picture of this screen, or failing that, you can always get a piece of paper and a pencil or pen and just write out this chart briefly because it will help you on the coming slides. But put the video on pause right now so that you can read over the words and take a picture of this table. All right, let's continue. So now we're going to practice using these adjectives. And for each sentence, we need to put the adjective in its proper place. And we do need to remember to put or use the correct form, masculine or feminine, of the adjective. Okay, so for example, il a une il a une collection de jouets. And the adjective is petit. So we want to say he has a small collection of games. Well, I've got une, so that means petite needs to become petite. But the question is, where do I place petite? Well, collection is the subject. So this is where I'm going to insert petite. So I have il a une petite collection de jouets. So for his first one, I've got le bacillus cereus tous les bêtes qui grignotent les fruits. So Bacillus cereus attacks the worst bugs that nibble at flowers or leaves. So in this case, the subject would be bête, because I want to make it les mauvais bêtes, the worst bugs. So I can keep the rest of the sentence intact, but now my sentence looks like this. The Bacillus cereus tous les mauvais bêtes qui grignotent les fruits. Okay, I'll just do a second one with you guys. C'est le projet de la foire des sciences. Meilleur. So in English, that means this is the best project at the science fair, or this is the best project of the science fair. So melhor means best, and I need to write it before the subject. In this case, the subject is projet. That's what we're describing. So I don't need to change melhor because le is masculine. So I'm just going to insert melhor before projet. So my sentence looks like this. C'est le meilleur projet de la foire des sciences. All right. I'm giving you guys 3 examples to try at home. What you're going to do is read through a sentence and consider 2 things. 1, what is the subject that is being described? If you know that, then you know that you're going to place the adjective in brackets right before the subject. Second thing to keep in mind is the subject masculine or feminine? Like un suggests that I'm going to need to stick a certain vowel at the end of grand to make that feminine. So this is where it'll help to have that chart in front of you, whether you took a picture on your phone or your tablet or you wrote it down on paper. You may also need to use a French English dictionary. All 3 of these sentences, though, guys, use words that we have studied in this class and before. So what I want you to do now is put the video on pause so you can write down your solutions to these 3 questions. All right, let's move on. There's another special rule we must follow when we use these adjectives. If the subject is plural, we use de, or des apostrophe instead of des. So let's practice this new rule. Okay, I'll do the first 2 as well as the example here on the slide with you. So for each sentence, what we need to do is we need to change the adjective and subject to the plural forms and use either de or des apostrophe. So in the example, we've got c'est un bon ami de Thomas. This is a good friend of Thomas's. Now you want to change this to these are good friends of Thomas. So un changes to de, and then bon and ami, to make them plural, we just stick an S at the end. So we've got c'est de bon ami de Thomas. So let's look at un. Les élèves ont souvent un petit bouton sur le visage. Students often have a small pimple on their face. And we want to change this to students often have small pimples on their face. So what I would do is I would change un to de, and then petit and bouton both need an S at the end to make them plural, meaning that my final sentence looks like this. Les élèves ont souvent de petits boutons sur le visage. Okay, looking at the second sentence, on peut attraper un mauvais rhume. One can catch a bad cold. I want to change this to one can catch bad colds. So un is going to change to de. Mauvais is okay. Already ends with an S. Okay, but with rhume, I need to tack an S on at the end. So what I get is on peut attraper de mauvais rhume. All right. So again, you want to have that picture which you took of that previous slide showing all of the les adjectifs qualificatifs as well as the French English dictionary in case you forget any of the meanings of the words in these sentences. So again, what you're doing is you're taking all of these sentences which have been written in the singular form and you're putting the subjects and the adjectives in plural form. So put the video on pause now and write down your answers, which we'll take up in tomorrow's class. All right. And just to conclude, after we go through all of the activities included on this video, you guys are going to get a page of your Kai to work on. So until we meet again, this concludes today's video.